What's good, y'all? StrawhatYomo. Got Dcentos here,
Er,
and we're here to talk about Invincible. Okay.
mm,
This is the latest season that came out. I think it ended last week.
yeah,
And it was
yeah,
that thing was
it
crazy.
was
That
crazy.
thing was crazy, bro.
Yeah, right
That
off the
that thing
bat,
was.
spoilers. Right off
Oh
the
yeah,
bat,
spoilers,
spoilers. Right off
spoilers,
the bat, because
spoilers,
we
spoilers,
talking
spoilers,
about it all
spoilers,
right. If
spoilers.
you ain't seen it, go watch it. Go watch it. All
hmm
right, right off the bat,
hmm
spoilers. But yeah, go ahead.
But I'm trying to think. How did the season first start off?
Okay.
We
All right.
started off with dang, I'm blanking. I'm gonna
Oh,
think about the
um.
last couple episodes.
Okay. So they it starts off. I got the episode list here. So it starts off with
Okay.
the plot point with him and I guess it's the Declaration of Independence. They steal that. Rex is
Yes,
fighting
yes.
Duplicate's brother, and I think there's something about Mark and Eve, him thinking about trying to ask her out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we also kind of learn a little bit about, oh no, not learn, but we see that Mark's younger brother, Oliver, is a little bit grown, and he got his superpowers
Yes, he
at
did.
a young age because he's half Viltrumite, half bug alien thing.
Yeah.
So he grows a
Thraxon.
lot
Thraxon.
faster. Thraxon. So he grows a lot faster. So he got his powers a lot earlier than Mark. So now Mark is now having to like be like his dad and tutor Oliver and how to use his powers correctly and use it for good and not for evil, of course. But the hard thing about this is that Oliver doesn't see his dad as a bad person. And the
Yeah.
Thraxen, they have really good memory. So Oliver remembers everything about his dad since he was young, and how good of a father he is. So that's a little dilemma that we have. And then also, you gotta think about this. You give a kid who's like supposedly like 6'7" superpowers,
Mm.
he's not gonna know how to hold back, he might, kill somebody.
Yeah.
And
That's facts.
that's what we see Oliver do. When you don't have your emotions in control, he ends up killing the Mauler twins.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that keep coming back,
Exact. Honestly,
at
I ain't
random.
mad he did that. I was like, yeah, yo, take him out. Because why they keep coming back?
They do keep coming back, but he killed them and even Cecil was shocked. Cecil's like, "Oh,
Mm.
that's crazy." So we see that kind of going on, and then there's a part. Maybe you might be able to talk about this better, Santos. But when it comes about Mark not wanting to work with Cecil no more.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think with that portion of it, uh, I think Mark had found that Cecil put like a little like tracking chip like in his head, or like well, some type of
Yeah,
chip in his head, because Mark was spazzing out because when they were trying to save everyone when they were in the Earth's core, I think he used
Darkwing.
yeah, Darkwing,
That's the reason. That was started it
Darkwing,
off.
and the other guy who with the robots who made the robots. I forget his name, but like he,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but he
yeah.
was mad about that. Like, yo, why is he free? He should be in prison. And so he was really spazzing out about that. And that's where Mark learns that, oh, like this man Cecil really doesn't care about it. And he was spazzing out. Then he finds out there's a little thing in his head to make the sound. And he was like, no, Cecil, we're done. Like, I can't mess with you no more. Like, you ain't standing on business, you ain't standing on principle, and I can't rock with you. That's what Mark
Mm-hmm.
said. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I respect I respect the man who gotta stand on his
I
principle.
respect it. I
You know
respect
what I'm
it,
saying? You gotta
Um,
stand on your principles.
and then we also get a little background on Cecil, because Cecil was just like
Yeah.
Mark, where he was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. Because the guy who had Cecil's job was similar to him, where
Hmm.
in their eyes, I think there's a term for it. I think it's called utilitarianism. I think it's something of that nature, where it's really for the good of the country and
Yeah.
not for the good of the people. It's like that dilemma where you got a train and there's two tracks. You got
Yeah.
one that has one person on the track, and there's one that has 100 people on the track. You have the option to choose which one it can go, but it has to go through one. So Cecil's the type of person where he's gonna pick the one where it only kills one
Yeah.
person because he's gonna save all the 100.
Yeah. Well,
Mark is the type of person where he's gonna try to save both.
exactly.
And so that's something that we kind of learned about Cecil. And a lot of things like I can't hate on Cecil's thinking, like I get it,
Mhm.
he has to play the scumbag role,
He
like
does.
he has to, and he knows it too. He doesn't like it, but
Mhm.
it's just something that he has to. And then Mark is you gotta think he's 18, what, maybe 20, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, 18 or
And
20.
and he still has this immature view of I can save everybody or I can do everything.
Yeah.
And you see how that kind of plays out like time and time and time again
Yeah.
to where I think he becomes more realistic about his approaches, with certain
Exactly.
things.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like he struggles with death and killing people.
Yeah, yeah.
He in that episode with the Declaration of Independence, he time travels to the future, then he sees what's his name? Immortal.
Immortal. Yeah, yeah.
Immortal, and then Immortal, is still alive, and then he has to kill him, and he's struggling with that, even though Immortal wants to die. So it's just like, I'm not gonna lie, every episode, like this man Mark was taking more L's than Aaron Yeager. I ain't gonna lie, man.
But he's always been taking L's. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing.
but
Like
it was
even my
real bad.
yeah, I mean, he always takes L's. So I'm like, I'm not surprised, like every season he's always taking L's, but he's getting better at it in a way, I guess. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
and even there's that one episode, I think his name was Powerplex, and that was played by the guy from if you guys have seen Breaking Bad, Jesse, I forgot the name of the actor.
Mm,
But that episode is really good
that was
because you have
fire.
you have a guy whose life has been affected because of the whole Invincible and Omni-Man fight. And
Mm,
so he views it, his viewpoint is Invincible killed my family,
yeah.
like or I think it was his sister and his
Yeah.
niece, right?
Sister and niece, yeah.
Yeah, so Invincible killed like my sister and niece. Like, I got to do whatever I can to get this guy back. And so you see how he goes about it the correct way, where he goes through law enforcement, joins the rank,
Mm.
and things of the nature. And he tries to tell him like, hey, like he's trying to build a case on Invincible, but the police are like, we don't care. It's Invincible, like he
So
can
what
do
we
what
gonna
he
do? Lock him
want.
up?
Yeah, is it what you gonna do? Lock him up? Like he saves the world, like and that made him like upset because he
Yeah.
tried to go about the right way, but you see how society turned him away. So he had no choice but to pick the villain route.
Mhm.
And the end of that was so crazy, where his wife and his child died in the process of trying to get
Yeah, it was
revenge.
just like bro, you was taking it too far. His
Yeah,
his wife should have been like, bro, like I think we gotta let this joint go. Like
his wife was for it too because she even played the role because
I
she
know,
acted as a hostage.
yeah,
So
and it was crazy because Mark tried to
and she spit
apologize
in
to
his
him.
face.
Yeah, no, like when Powerplex was in prison and Mark was
Oh
talking to
yeah.
him, and he was like, I hope this helps you find like calmness. And Powerplex looked at him and was like, man, when I get out here, it's on site, bro. What you mean? What you
And
mean? This ain't no talk, no
sure
jutsu.
enough, when he left, it was on site. It was on site. He
I
got
I
a cool power. So
I do want to talk about so in this season they do now explore the relationship that was supposed to happen in the first season. Eve and Mark.
yes,
Yeah,
power couple.
so they start to explore that, and I mean, we knew what was gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
So and really, I think I, I like it because like Eve is really a rock for Mark when he's taking his L's. Like Eve is really there for him. Like yo, like this is not your fault. It just because this guy is saying that you killed them or you caused this destruction, it's not your fault. You're just doing the best you can. Like she was a real like ride or die like for Mark. I ain't gonna lie, she was solid. She was solid.
Eve did a pretty good job. And I think it was so easy for them to get along because she's also a superhero, so she gets it.
Mhm.
With what's the other girl? Amy or
What there
his
was a
other his
there was
previous girlfriend?
Oh, what the you talking about the black girl? Or you talking about the
Yeah, the
superhero?
black girl.
Yeah, the black girl. Yeah, she got a new
She,
boyfriend too.
yeah, she moved on, and no hard feelings, but she couldn't relate to
Yeah.
Mark, in that kind of way. So it was nice seeing,
Yeah.
at least a positive from
Yeah.
Mark. That
Yeah.
was one
Yeah.
positive, I would say.
Um.
Trying to think of anything else that had happened before we talk about the two
Okay.
big things.
I think there's like this dynamic with one uh I guess like Rex and the girl who can shrink herself.
Yeah, yeah.
There's that dynamic. Which is kind of
A
interesting to
little, a
see.
little character,
Yeah.
a character
Yeah.
development for
Yeah.
Rex because Rex is always seen and he's been viewed as like just a jerk, to
Mhm.
everybody. But he sees how his actions have been throughout, and so he's like, all right, let me change, in a way,
Yeah.
let me stop continuing to treat people like this. And you see the positive
And
effects from that.
yeah, and I think he was trying to change. I think the only other side point between the besides the two main ones was remember that episode with the what's his name? He was trying to break the dude out of prison, so like he
Oh, what's
used
his name? Is his
Mark,
name Adam or something?
and then
Or
there was like the dragon.
oh,
Uh
that dragon episode was pretty good.
the episode was fire, I ain't
That
gonna
that was
lie.
pretty good. They used Mark again. They used him again, and he kind of fell for it. I think it was also a cool way of showing Duplicate's brother and how he uses his abilities.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that was like really cool. He's definitely more ruthless. Um, I think that's about it. Battle Beast, that
Battle Beast.
boy,
Oh
that boy
yeah.
nice, that boy nice. That he took on
Yeah.
the Viltrumite by himself and won. So
Battle Beast is like he's that
he's that
dude.
guy. He does it just for the love of the game.
Mm.
He does it for the love. He don't
Well,
care. He don't.
he
There's no
said he
feelings.
said
He
he
just
said
likes
let's
to
run the
fight.
fate.
He just likes to fight.
Yeah,
That's it. So
that
I
man
respect it.
that man is Aaron the plumber, just like to run the
Yeah,
fate.
basically. Oh yeah. I saw a video of him fighting in the street with the fan.
Yeah, I saw that. He said I love the fate. I was like, oh my god.
I was like, all right, yeah, y'all different. But yeah, so those are the things that I loved about Invincible. And so moving forward, we got to talk about the last two episodes.
Okay,
So we got the Invincible War,
the Invincible War.
and
Mm.
that was way more crazy than what I expected, you
Yeah,
know? So basically, we got the guy, I think his name Armstrong, right?
Angstrom Levy.
Angstrom. So he's still alive, and you see the effects of one, Mark messed him up. I'm surprised he's alive.
Bad.
Mark messed him up
Hmm.
bad. But Angstrom, he went and got to he went to different dimensions and grabbed a different invincible to
Hmm.
help fight our main invincible and tarnish his reputation and kind of get revenge on him. And what I found very interesting about that was that, and I saw this online, that it's funny how every one of the marks in the other universes were evil, but our
Yeah.
main mark was a good one.
Hmm.
So it's like, is our mark an anomaly, a canon event like Miles Morales?
He might
Um,
be.
you
He might
know.
be.
So I thought that was very interesting, and just seeing how they had a little bit of depth in writing into like each of the different marks and
Yeah.
how like each one is
Yeah.
different. Like
Exactly.
one had killed
Well,
Eve,
you
another
want to
one killed
kill?
his mom. You know,
Yeah.
we got one who it was like, what
I think.
if Mark killed his dad and became Omni
Yeah,
Man?
dude, that
You
was
know?
cool. He had the Omni suit on. I was like, that's clean. Okay. One had the
Yeah.
Viltrumite suit on. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
one had a Viltrumite suit. One was I had to go back and like watch a YouTube video on like learning how about each mark. Because there was one where like he was a Viltrumite, but he was bald, and I guess he was in Viltrumite prison, you
Mm,
know? Um, there was so many different like marks out there that had a little like more depth into it, and I thought that was really cool.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, that episode was crazy, man. Because
yeah,
it's Mark, and then you see all these other Invincibles. It's like, yo, you gotta go ahead and box all of them, and
yes.
they're wrecking havoc on the
Yeah.
world. I'm like,
Oh, for 3 days. 3 days.
3 days, man.
Three
And
days they did that.
your name getting tarnished and they're boxing. Now I thought Mark would but I thought Mark was going to be a little bit stronger because he was getting trained by Cecil in the beginning. So I thought I thought he had like a Zenkai boost. I was like, all right, Mark about to get a Zenkai boost. The way he was fighting, he ain't got no boost at all.
Well, I will say that he did take out the Mohawk mark in a
Okay.
way. And then he got tag teamed. Um, one of the marks got killed by Cecil, and I think that was the weakest one, to be honest, for it to get killed by Cecil. I think that's what I saw.
Okay.
Um, and so I think Mark did a better job than what I would have expected, to be honest.
Okay.
Like I still wanted to see the Viltrumite Mark, the one that took out the other Viltrumite with his dad. They didn't hold back. I could tell, he kind of holding back a little bit. But Mark was putting in a little work,
Yeah.
he did his thing, and you saw that when he was fighting Angstrom. He
Yeah.
learned. He learned
Oh
big time.
yeah, he was like, yeah, you ain't gonna do this dimension thing to me again.
No,
He was like,
no,
yeah,
like
I
he
got
learned
you.
big time. So that was good. Like he did really good on that. So I'm like, okay, I give props to my boy Mark. Um, so yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
That was,
Is there anything else about that episode you want to talk about?
man, no, I
No.
thought it was a great episode.
R.I.P. Rex.
R-
R.I.P. Rex.
R.I.P. Rex, man. That
That
was
man went out with a
he
bang,
went out with a
literally.
bang. That's crazy, man. I
Literally.
I remember somebody online was talking about the funeral, and he was like, "Dang, man, your girl talk about Rex." He said first everything. I was that's kind of crazy.
I was
That's
like,
kind of crazy.
oh, you lucky this ain't Sinister Mark. That he would have
Mm,
crashed out.
yeah,
That's probably one of the reasons why the other Mark maybe killed Eve, because that could have been it. You never know.
crashed out, Mark,
Um,
man.
and
Yeah,
so yeah, that was the Invincible
yeah,
War,
yeah. That was the
and
Invincible
then
War.
we got Conquest. Or
We
no,
got,
what's his name?
uh,
Conquest.
hold on, I got it, I got it.
Go ahead,
So
go ahead, go ahead.
So I just want to say this, right? So obviously they're cleaning up the aftermath of the Invincible War,
Yes.
and then if you go to the Japanese version, you gonna hear "Omae wa conquest dono."
Mm,
I ain't gonna lie, the
mm.
Japanese version was clean. Just
I don't listen to the
clean.
Japanese
You
version.
gotta hear that he said "Omae wa conquest." Oh my gosh!
That
And then
man,
mm,
imagine like having to clean up, fight, all that kind of stuff,
mm,
just for another Viltrumite to come in. He basically looked like Thanos to me because he
yeah,
had the glove and everything. And
exactly.
and Mark was like, you know what? I just want to hit something real hard right
Yeah.
now.
Uh huh.
Let's do this. 5 minutes later, that boy said, wait,
Yeah,
wait.
he said,
He
yeah.
said,
He
wait,
said, oh
wait.
yeah, oh yeah. He said, bro, I do this for the love of the game. I don't even care about the planet. He
Uh,
said, he said, I don't know what you did, but thank you.
he said, thank
I
you.
want to run this
He
fade.
said, I'm having a lot of fun with this. And that boy was going crazy. I was like,
Yo,
dog, that's insane. That's insane.
like
And the fact that Mark was like, wait, wait, wait. And he
he,
was like, wait,
he said, wait,
what?
wait. Nah, bro.
He said, nah, we're supposed to fight.
He
And he
said,
was like, hey, 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 hey. He was like wiping his blood away from his face, like, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You got this. Keep fighting. I was like, nah, this guy's sick,
he
bro.
said, you're doing a good job. You're
Like, you're
almost
doing a good
there.
job. Yeah. I was like, nah, this
I
guy's
was
sick.
like, yeah, nah,
And
he's sick in the head.
I thought, I don't know why I thought they were gonna hold back on the I don't know, not the fight, but like some of the scenes I was seeing. But when Oliver pulled up to the fight thinking he
Yeah,
was Naruto, like he could just go
yeah,
in and do it, and that boy slapped him.
yeah,
They had impact frames on him.
yeah.
Impact frames on that slap.
Like when I saw him get slapped, I said, oh. I was like, yo, run. I was like, bro, this man
And he
conquest is different.
grabbed him
Run.
like this above the head and was pulling him.
Yeah,
For a second, I really thought Oliver was done
yeah.
for because that scene made me so uncomfortable, and
And
that oh,
and he
oh, it
was
was so good.
describing it too. He was like, yeah, so first, you know what I'm saying, you gonna feel like your muscles tear, then your bones gonna start breaking. I was
Yep,
like, Dom, my man's a demon. He is
that
a
boy.
conquest.
I was like, Mark, you better do something, and he did. And
Yeah.
seeing what's it called? Oh, and when they went to the beach,
Yeah,
he relived the same scene that his dad did. Pulled him
exactly.
like this and ran
Right.
through everything. And I don't know. Again, I keep forgetting I'm watching Invincible. I thought they're going to censor some things, But there was a scene with the kid was walking and his arm got cut off.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
But you see, Eve also
yeah.
pulled up to the fight,
Oh my god,
and
yo,
I had a feeling something was going to
yo.
happen, but I didn't think it was going to be that
When
bad.
when Eve pulled up, I was like, run, run. I was like,
You
run.
gotta,
I was
nah,
like, nah, this not, nah. Like Mark told you to run when during the Invincible War, but this guy, you
you gotta
gonna die.
run.
You
You are going
gonna
to
die.
die. You're going to die. And like he impaled her, slashed her face. I was like, and they showed it too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no,
Nah,
Mark is about to go crazy.
nah. But I remember this. I remember this one point. I remember I was watching the RDC and they brought this up too. It was like for real though. Why wasn't Eve boxing throughout the entire season? Because like when Eve pulled up, she was like, "All right, bro, I'm about to put on the suit." She was like, she was like 10 times
Yeah.
gravity. She was like, the air density's 10 times thicker. I was like, oh, she can really manipulate atoms. I
She can
was,
manipulate everything, but I think the creator had to hold her
yeah,
back because he was like, I created too strong of a
I was
character.
like, she kind of broken. I was like,
She high key is broken.
I was like, oh, she might do it. She's like, yeah, I'm making the air density thicker. She was really boxing.
Yeah,
Like,
she was getting creative,
yeah,
but they ain't mad at the conquest because
yeah,
he slashed her up. And then when Mark saw that, and he went like charged both of them
yeah,
again, fist together. His fist was already broken.
yeah.
Bam, like that. I was like, oh, this man do
Mm,
not care. He
he,
just went crazy.
yeah.
Went crazy. Oh, we got 4 minutes. My
You
bad.
got 4 minutes. We might have to do
Um,
another one.
yeah. All right, we back. We had to extend the Zoom.
Yeah.
But we were talking about Mark clashing again, fist to fist with Conquest,
Hmm.
and just seeing how his hand was already broken, but he didn't care. He just like smashed into the glove and it broke. And even Conquest was like, "Whoa, hold on now. This is something a little different." And he
Yeah.
was just going at it with them, just going crazy, and just
Hmm.
seeing like her body just on the floor, like
Yeah.
that thing. Oh, it was crazy.
That
That's
was
crazy.
that was crazy. And then we see Adam Eve turn into Jean Grey. That's what we see.
Basically, I thought she was done. I was like, oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, if you can manipulate atoms, can you manipulate your own atoms?
And heal
I
yourself,
was like, you might be broken. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, she had the mental limiter. I didn't realize that. And
She hit that factory reset.
yeah, and then she came up like Blazing Phoenix and hit this man Conquest with a hyper beam. Like I
Yeah.
was like, yo,
And he ate it
yeah,
too.
he ate it. He did eat it though. I ain't gonna
He
lie.
ate it. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing about this man. Like, come on, man. This guy, and you tell him, is he the strong? He can't be the strongest Viltrumite.
He's
There's
not.
somebody even worse than that? Oh
Yeah,
no.
he's not. That's the craziest part.
I don't
Oh,
know how Mike gonna do it, but good
mm,
luck. That's all I gotta say.
yeah. Oh my,
Um, I'm
yeah,
trying to think of what else had happened. In that the animation on that last episode was crazy, and
yeah,
I think a lot of people. That's one complaint I see a lot of people have about the show. The animation isn't all that great until like the last
yeah,
episode or
yeah,
last two
yeah.
episodes, and
It's
I mean I agree.
okay. I agree. It's not
Um,
like ufotable.
Yeah, I don't expect you foldable, but at the same time, like I'm in it for the story, so the animation isn't as long
Hmm.
as it's not like Blue Lock, then it's all right, But
Yeah,
it was straight. I liked it, but that
yeah,
last episode, the animation was going
yeah,
crazy on it.
yeah. And
So
shout out to the voice actor for Conquest. Amazing
oh, it's
job.
Negan from
Amazing. Who's he from?
Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's what's
Absolutely
what's crazy about
fire.
that. I don't know if you watched Walking Dead.
I have not.
Okay, but there's a scene. Negan plays a villain, and the guy who plays Invincible is a hero,
Hmm.
and his character for the guy who plays Invincible got killed by Negan, the guy who plays Conquest. So it was like a
Okay.
rematch again, in a way. So I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't the creator the same person? Is it for Walking Dead
I
and
don't,
Invincible?
I don't know about that. That's a good. I don't think
I
so.
thought what else did the creator do?
Let me see. Invincible.
I thought it was the same creator.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, because I
it
remember.
is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that was crazy to see, but also, I think people were telling me that in the comics, Conquest didn't have that monologue about telling like how lonely he was
Yeah,
and
they
how.
added that. Or and the
Yeah.
heart and the
Yeah,
heart.
and the heart.
Added that. Yeah, that boy was sick.
Yeah, he was
That
like,
boy was sick.
man, he said, I think the other little Viltrumites are scared of me, man. He was like, I get kind of lonely, but at the end of the day, doesn't matter. No, but you're gonna take this to the grave. That's
Yeah.
hard. That's hard.
Now we saw one of the biggest L's for a character I didn't even think I was gonna see L for. Cecil.
Mm,
This man got the body, kept Conquest conquer I keep getting his name wrong, but kept him alive and put him in like an underground facility with like I think a bunch of like ton of metal around him and
yeah,
everything, 400 tons or something of that nature.
exactly.
And he was like, I'm gonna question him and everything. And I'm like, Cecil, this man's gonna break out.
Yeah, like
I
this is
already know
dumb.
he's gonna break out. Like this is not gonna work out well. Come
Mm.
on, man.
I was like,
Um,
Conquest is too strong.
nah, he's way too strong. So I was like, all right,
Mhm.
whatever. But and that's really gonna send Mark over the edge,
Yeah,
because it's like, and I don't think Cecil's gonna get rid of the bodies,
nah.
for the other marks that were taken down, So it's just something that,
Hmm.
again, Cecil is looking out for the people, not so much of like one person.
That's right.
Um, so I'm really excited to see where this show is going to continue. It just sucks that we got to wait a whole year to for another season. And
Is
I'm feeling like I just got to read it at this point or watch a YouTube video explaining everything.
yeah, I.
Um,
Mhm.
so that's just what I feel like.
Man, it was honestly, it was an absolutely great season all around. Shoot, man, man, absolute cinema, and I mean, we gonna wait for Thrag, that's the dude, Thrag. Just
Oh,
remember,
Thrag.
yeah, just remember the name.
I've
Yeah,
I've been seeing him on Twitter.
yeah,
I've been
Thrag.
seeing he got the hairline and everything. He looked like a black Viltrumite, but he white, like a South
Yeah,
African Viltrumite. That's what I'm gonna call him. But he look clean. I think he the one that
yeah.
you can't mess with.
We're going to wait on Thrag. So, you know what
So
I'm saying.
yeah. But overall, what would you give the season, number rating wise?
Rating wise, I'm gonna get to season like I think I think my only gripes with the show is, man, I wish because they call it like the Invincible War. I wish it was like more than one episode. I wish it was like two episodes.
Yeah, I think it was a fleshed out a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah. I
more,
wish
show a little bit more of the
I was like
characters, like
I was
the
like I kind of want to see more of these marks. Like this is kind of
yeah,
cool.
they're
So
really interesting. They're really
yeah,
interesting.
I wish you would have got more of that. But I'm gonna give it a
Yeah.
9. I'm gonna give it a 9, solid 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. I was gonna give it like a 9.5. Like the show was just fire overall.
Hmm.
Like when I was watching the last fight, like I was jumping out of my seat, like throwing punches in the air too, from
Yeah.
Mark. So I thought
Yeah.
it was definitely good. Definitely
Excellent.
good.
All right. Well, that's the official score. What you said, 9.5. So 9.25.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that's the middle?
9.25.
Omae wa
Yes, sir.
conquest dono.
Yeah, I'm about to check that out now. I gotta check that out.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's the review. And apparently there's also gonna be an Invincible game.
And a
Now I don't
movie.
know.
No.
Oh, in a movie,
Or
live
live action.
action?
Live action.
Oh,
Dragon Ball Evolution.
yeah, bro. They could have turned the actual show into a movie. I would do that. Like, pull a you. Nah, well, nah, don't pull a you multiple. Never mind. Forget what I
You're
said.
gonna be waiting for years
Yeah, you're gonna wait for
to get a
years just
season.
to
Mm.
part one. So never mind. Just stick with what you're doing. Stick with
Just to
what you're
get you
doing.
doing.
We're enjoying the show. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that's our review. So um, leave a like, comment, let us know what y'all think. But with that, like we always say, we out.